Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. Thank you for downloading or streaming. Wherever you listen, we appreciate it. We love you. Thanks for being here. Now, let's get to the show.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, alright, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that their podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
You going to any show? Doing anything this summer? I know there's like a few.
Other than existing, not much, no. I'm definitely trying to get up to the Get Dead show in Maryland. You know,
22nd.
yeah, Chad from Over Our Eyes is who put that together.
Right, I'm supposed to work that night. I'm supposed to work the night after that, but the night after that, I'm actually flying to Nashville for a few days. So I wasn't planning on going to that show, but now that we just talked to Sam, and he seems super cool, I think I really want to try to go.
Yeah, you should. I'm gonna try to go.
Yeah.
Going to Bree's wedding. That is something we're doing this summer. I don't know if you're going or not.
I can't now because I'm having surgery that week.
Oh, damn.
It's just hernia surgery, but still I'll be like I'm getting it done like 3 days before her wedding.
Oof.
So I don't think I'm going to want to do that. I told her I was planning on going, and then I thought I was gonna have this surgery like back in like March or April, but when they gave me the dates, it was like June 10th was the soonest they could do it.
Oof.
So I was like, fuck. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens.
Yeah. But I know Trev is going, so that you'll have fun up there.
Yeah, I've been talking to him a little bit lately.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. It sucks that I'll miss it, but yeah. And then are you going to Warp Tour? When is that? What is Warp Tour? Wait, that's the same weekend, isn't it?
No.
It's the same day.
I'm not going to Warp
Yeah.
Yeah. Festivals are not my thing.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
They're not my thing. The only festival to me is really Fest in Florida. Like,
Yeah.
because it's like it's not really,
That's just like a bunch of shows though. That's not really a
Exactly.
festival anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. I hate going to large scale events, like going to shows at stadiums or going to like
Yeah.
Warped Tour. And I used to go to tons of Warped Tours back in the day. When I was
Yeah,
younger,
same, yeah.
it was a bit of a different story. But into my, I'm in my mid 40s. I just like
I know.
it's more alluring, small clubs.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes almost tend to like more local shows over I do
Yeah.
like bigger like even like going to the Black Cat in DC now, like it's just like everything's just so fucking expensive. Like the tickets are all like it's just like $40 for a fucking punk rock show. Like I mean I
Yeah.
get it, like
Yeah.
inflation and everybody's got to make a fucking living.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but like I don't know. It's
Yeah, and then
just-
you got to pay for parking, which is almost as much as a ticket. And then you got to,
Yeah.
and then like if you're going to eat down there, it's like that's another ticket price, basically. I mean, it's a guaranteed like $150 to $200 a night if you go to.
Yeah, just
see a major
even like
show.
a schmo punk rock. Yeah, it's like back
Yeah.
in the day, I could have like $5 in my pocket, go to a fucking punk rock show and have a blast for the night.
Yeah.
And this isn't me being like, oh, in my day,
It's true though. It's so true. Yeah.
I could buy a whole bag of groceries for a nickel.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just like nowadays when you go to something like this, not only are the prices like way more expensive because of inflation
Right.
and amongst other things, but mostly it's just like there is fucking grifters coming out of the woodwork left and right on your way there, on your way home, while you're there, just like trying to like rape your mind
Yeah.
into giving them your money. And it's like, I don't care about all this other stuff. I just want to go do this one fucking
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah.
and see bands and have a good time and then go home. Like, I don't, like, kind of like even just the advertisements everywhere, no matter where you fucking go, it's
Yeah.
all just in your face. And it's just literally people trying to convince you to give them your money, just no matter what you do in life. And it's for somebody who can't not recognize it and just take it in subliminally like most people do.
Yeah, yeah.
It becomes a burden. It's maddening.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Or if you go to Baltimore, you have
Yeah.
literal people walking up to you asking you for your money all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, and that too. No matter if you go into a city,
Yeah.
there's going to be at least 10 people that ask you for fucking money.
Yeah. If you go,
If you
if you
don't live
step,
in that
yeah,
city, I can't
if you,
imagine if you do.
I
Like,
know. Yeah. If you step outside the club, you're getting hit up at least two or three
yeah,
times.
yeah, and it's just like all the bright colors and advertisements are just constantly bombarding.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could just turn it off and let me fucking think for a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just want some peace and fucking quiet while I go to this loud place. And then
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
like, I'm going to this place to experience a lot of loud noise. Like, I don't need everything to be loud and in my face. 100 fucking. That's just, it's
Yeah.
how I
That's what I
see
love
the
about
world
the,
now.
that's what I love about the pie shop. You could just go out back and on the deck and just kind of like
Yeah.
veg out. It's like when you, Baltimore,
Yeah.
I went to two shows in Baltimore last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was just like, man, you stand outside. You're gonna like smoke a cigarette if you're going out with somebody who's smoking a cigarette, and it's just like you just see them coming. It's they're like evenly spaced too. I don't know if they like have like a some kind of formation where they all meet up at the bus stop. And I'm not saying bus stop to be mean to poor people. I'm saying there's actually a bus stop near the fucking depot and Metro Gallery.
Hey, there's a
And it's
bus
just
stop
like
next to my house.
there you go. Yes, it's just like it's like every 10 yards that you could look down the street and see them all coming. It's like Jesus Christ.
It's the bus people, dude.
That I didn't know that was
Oh,
a real thing until you told me about the
oh
bus
yeah, the
people.
fucking bus people. Yeah, oh yeah.
That's wild.
I am inundated in the land of bus people.
That's crazy.
I know.
So they just go from town to town and just like
This yeah, yeah. So I don't know if this guy is a bus person or not.
mhm.
My guess is he's potentially was a bus person, but the old crack motel that was like 2 blocks from my house
Yeah.
um was bought up by a church.
Okay.
And the church redid it, and now the church is like using it as a place to like get people back on their feet. They allow people to
Okay.
move in for
Yeah.
super cheap. It's all furnished, and then when they get back on their feet and get to a point where they can, get back to where they need, they move out, and they were like, and then all the stuff that we furnish the place is theirs. They can take it with them. They don't have to buy
Oh, cool.
furniture. They can take the TV. They can take everything,
Nice.
and they refurnish it for the next person, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really
Um,
nice. That's a nice thing. Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to see stuff like that because,
Yeah.
like, I have seen, and well, also, the people that live at that place are
Yeah.
so much better now than they used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it used to be like I'd walk to the corner store, and there'd be like there's like this little chain link fence in the corner by the because the crack motel's right behind the bodega.
Oh, of
Shocker.
course.
But there's this like right on the side of it, there's like this little nook where a chain link fence like hits the side of the building.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen like dudes sitting in this little nook in the tall grass in like hospital gowns with like a bandage around their head that was all fucking bloody, holding a bag and a bunch of shit clearly because the hospital's like across Route 1, like not
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
far at all. You can kind of almost see it. Then like like round the corner to go into the bodega, and this dude's just chilling there in the corner, like, oh God. I'm like, I just wanted to look at him and be like, ha, you ran from the hospital. Somebody's looking for you,
Yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
But I just, kept going.
Yeah.
'Cause this dude just clearly got blood all over the side of his head.
Wow. Wild.
Clearly fled the hospital. I love where I live sometimes.
You get
It's
patched up and get out of there before the cops show up.
what's so weird is like sometimes I can make my neighborhood sound like I live in this really bad neighborhood, but it's just the pocket that's like
Yeah, it's a nice
a
place. You
block
live in a
up
nice place.
two,
Yeah.
yeah, a block from my house, a block and a half from my house. There's just these 2 crack motels and this one bodega, but everything else around there is like just fine. Like my neighborhood
Yeah.
is like there's like $1 million homes in my neighborhood. I mean, my house isn't that, but like I live in the nook where like most of the college kids live, and then but there is also some very nice houses around where I live too. It's just weird. There's the bus station, there's a used car dealership, one kind of crack apartment slash motel that has a barber shop in it. It's when it's like it used to be a crack motel, but now it's apartments with a barber shop.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. Yeah.
there's this little Asian restaurant that's attached to it that's called the
Uh-huh.
Crazy Dumpling. And the best part of that place is at night, the big sign out front that says Crazy Dumpling. Only the crazy is a big giant neon light. The dumpling
It's just
doesn't
as
light up.
crazy.
So at night when you're driving, it's giant red crazy on the side of the road.
Oh,
I
that's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah, but then outside of that, there's like the rest of my neighborhood is like nice. There's like a fucking college 2 blocks to the right of
Yeah.
me that's like a beautiful college
Yeah, it
campus, you
is.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, where a bunch of rich kids go. It's so weird. It's just this tiny little pocket of like ghetto. That's like 2 blocks from my house.
Yeah, Fredericksburg's really nice. I've only been a couple times, but
What
I
is now?
yeah. I guess it
It's
wasn't always this nice.
oh no.
Oh, okay.
There's there's no abandoned houses left in this city, which is crazy to me because
Yeah.
in the 90s, half the houses in this city were abandoned.
No shit, really.
Oh yeah, like
Oh wow.
Fredericksburg was known as like a shithole. People didn't come here. That's why the nickname back in the 90s was like Fred Vegas
Oh,
because
okay.
like nothing good went on here.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
money came in as Northern Virginia started to creep down and
Right.
Stafford started booming.
Yeah.
Nobody came to Fredericksburg because nobody wanted to go to Stafford because Stafford was good old boy territory. And
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but now, the suburbs got down here in the 90s and that place grew like it was like the sixth fastest growing county in America. It still is like sixth or seventh.
Wow.
And Fredericksburg is an independent city that's like jammed in between Stafford County and Spotsylvania County.
Yeah.
And,
Are you closer to DC or Richmond?
uh, mileage wise, DC.
Okay.
Um, DC's like 55 miles, I think.
Okay.
And Richmond is like just about 80 miles. It's like 77 miles.
Okay.
But in terms of time,
But you
because
could
of
probably get to
traffic,
Richmond a lot quicker. Yeah.
you can always get to Richmond faster. Richmond, it takes
Yeah.
like 45 minutes to get to Richmond no matter what.
Yeah.
Sometimes DC takes 2 hours.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, it might, and I might be thinking 55 miles because that's like from Stafford. It might be like 62 miles from Fredericksburg or 64 miles from Fredericksburg, but still it's a little
Yeah.
closer than Richmond.
Yeah.
Richmond's 77 miles.
Yeah. It's just like that traffic that was so unpredictable. I've been in like
Yeah.
really shitty traffic on like Saturday mornings in like on 95. It's like where the fuck are you guys going? Like
Yeah.
it's so annoying.
Yeah, but you were right about Fredericksburg being nice now, though.
Yeah,
Like
it's yeah.
all after Northern Virginia stretched down here and it's part of the money just came down here and people started moving down here in droves and buying up these old abandoned houses and redoing them. And now there's all these old, like, late 1800s, early 1900s homes that these old, huge, just beautifully redone
Yeah.
houses that are, but, they as gorgeous as they are, some of them are selling for like $3 and $4 million. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking insane. I mean, my house, shit, the house I'm sitting in right now was built in
Yeah.
1929.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but my house is small, and you know, if it was ever to be fixed up, could be worth a lot of money. I
Yeah.
mean, houses in my like a house like literally like right around the corner, like not even a block away. Just sold for like $850,000.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's an
Yeah.
old like early 1900s house. It's huge.
Yeah, it reminds me of Annapolis, downtown Fredericksburg.
Yeah, they're similar. It just
Um,
it just sucks for music now that all these rich people came in here because
yeah.
that's rich people don't want loud music. So
Yeah,
there's not,
Annapolis sucks for music, man. Annapolis is
yeah,
like, yeah, like I said,
Sa-
it's cover bands or white boy reggae.
yeah.
That's
Same problem
Annapolis.
happened there, right? Money went in,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
happens
money's
when,
always been in Annapolis, so yeah, Annapolis has always been money. because it's
Eh,
people. It's close enough to DC
yeah.
to have always been easy to commute to, and you got the Naval Academy, and
Hmm.
so
I mean, I've always liked Annapolis though. It's a
yeah, I
cool
love it.
city.
But it's not good for music.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
well, for our kind of music,
yeah.
it might be really cool. Like I said, if you like cover bands
Or white boy reggae.
or white boy reggae, hell yeah, white dudes with dreads. I might go to the last night of Savage Mountain this year, maybe. Um,
When is it?
August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Who's playing that last night?
The last night is the Dwarves, Raging Nathans,
Mm.
Huntingtons, the Goons, um, a couple of bands. Uh, but I'm taking off a day, on August 2nd. I have to work that weekend in the weekend of Savage Mountain. But we're playing a show August 2nd. I'm taking off. That's the Dolly Rot show, which I can talk about now, even though it's not still not officially announced. Um, yes, we are putting on a Dolly Rot show August 2nd at
August 2nd.
uh
August 2nd.
yeah, at what's it called? Pearl Street Warehouse,
Pearl Street Warehouse.
which is down in that area in DC that's on the water. It's right next to like Union Stage. There's a bunch of restaurants and shit. I heard it's really nice. I heard it'll get a lot of foot traffic.
Oh shit, yeah, that's like right it's right near the Anthem, which
Yeah, the
is a
Anthem, that's
huge
another one
venue.
else. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, that's where we're that's no shit. That now speaking of expensive areas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude, we went one of the dudes Noah Welter that I was in a movie with, shout out Noah. Um uh he's been in a bunch of cool stuff. Namely Wolf Hollow is a cool horror movie he was in that was on Amazon. I don't know where it is now, but pretty rad movie. Um we he was in DC for like a weekend or whatever, and we went up for a night and hung out on the wharf with him. Um Jesus, the amount of money I dropped.
Oh, so you've been to that area? I don't know if I've ever been to
Yeah.
that area
Oh, dude, it's
before.
beautiful. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you this. It costed me $76 in parking.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Parking for that evening was 70s, just parking,
Wow.
let alone dinner and drinks.
Yeah.
I
Damn.
think I dropped like it was like 240 some dollars that night just for two
Damn.
people to have dinner and a few drinks and parking.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So needless to say, um, the next time we go be up there, I'll just be taking the parking ticket
Yeah.
because they're cheaper.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Parking ticket in DC is like $15. But I guess you have to find a spot in order to get it.
That's true.
Have you looked up pictures of this place? Whoa. Whoa.
It's like a 300 cap room.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
240 standing, and then there's like 60 actual seats you could get up on the balcony.
yeah, it's got like a balcony and shit.
Yeah.
It's got like checkered floor. Wow, this place is fucking crazy nice.
Yeah, and I
Huh?
heard the sound is really, really good. I've heard that from a couple people.
They probably don't normally do punk shows at this place, do they?
I don't think so, but
Well, they're gonna now.
yeah, they're gonna now. Yeah, I saw the Queers a week ago at Zen West. It's like this Mexican place, but they have like a huge venue attached to it. Not huge, but it's probably the size of the pie shop, maybe a little bigger. But did I tell you this yet? When I went to go see them,
I don't think so.
I went up with Justin, and it was Paperback Tragedy, Huntington's, Queers, this band that opened called Bitter Tits.
Hmm.
It was just a chick with a guitar and a drummer,
That's not true. It's not a true statement.
a two piece. It's a true statement.
What, bitter
Um,
tits?
Bitter Tits.
That's not true. There's no such thing as bitter tits.
Bitter nipples. Password is nipple. And then there was this other band that played Over the Line. Uh, Horrible. Um, yeah, and I don't mind saying that on this because I know none of them would listen to this because they're like a '90s cover band.
Oh, okay.
They were like playing Smashing Pumpkins and shit. Like
Ah,
I was
no,
like,
you
why is
can't.
this band playing with the Queers?
Yeah, yeah, that's weird.
So I was hanging out at the Queers are touring this dude, this Colombian dude named Jairo. He works with Joe in his studio. He's Joe, one of Joe's engineers. And when the Blanks recorded last fall, Jairo was working with Joe and us. So we became friendly with Jairo, and they took him on tour this spring to help. He was like working their merch booth at all the shows and stuff. So when I got there, I was hanging out with him at the Queers merch booth, and I saw Will because Paperback Tragedy was just about to go on when I got there, and I saw Tyler from Italian Blood and Dead End Lane was there, as well as Aaron and their kid Roman was there,
Hmm.
and so I was hanging out with them, and
Great people, great people.
yeah, totally, yeah. And Tyler was telling me like he was saying that like apparently the dude that books, I don't know if he always books shows at this place, but the one who would book that particular show with the Queers, it was like pay to play, I know, and like it was just a really weird lineup. Um,
Got pay to play. I can't believe that still
yeah,
happens.
I know, and like Bitter Tits, that should have been the Blanks opening that show. Like I don't care, and then I don't give a fuck if they hear this either. But it was just
I can't not laugh at that name every
yeah.
time I hear it.
Um, anyway, whatever. But so I'm like standing there at the merch booth with Hyro, and then Hoglog, who we've had on the show, the drummer for the Queers, came up, and I was hanging out with him. I hadn't seen him in a while, so three of us are just hanging out, and all of a sudden, like that band over the line starts playing like the Smashing Pumpkins, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even one of like the faster Pumpkin songs. It was just like it was that one like.
If it's a Smashing Pumpkins song, it's a bad song. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I agree. But there are ones that you could at least make sound punk rock, but this wasn't even one of
Yeah,
those. This was like a
yeah.
radio. This is like one of their shittier later
I,
radio songs.
I will admit there's worse bands in the world than Smashing
Yeah,
Pumpkins.
there are. Yeah.
Deftones.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must have had something caught in my throat there. Sorry.
You piss off a lot of people saying that too. The
Oh,
Deftone, they have a lot of crazy followers. But
that band. There's two bands that I cannot get it. I've never been able to get into in this world. That fucking I just get crucified for. And it's not that I hate them both. It's just
yeah.
well, that's not true. I kind of hate the Deftones. But I like the Deftones to me is just it's like decent music. Like the music part of the Deftones is not the part that I hate.
Yeah.
It's their singer.
Yeah.
I'm not signing up to hear some guy whine into a microphone for
Right.
a 2 hour record or whatever. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Ugh. And the other one this one I get crucified. I say anything negative about this band. Oh, God forbid.
Yeah.
But I am just not a Tool fan.
I was thinking that was the other band you were talking about.
Their earlier stuff, like their first record, was pretty fucking rad. It
Yeah.
was heavy and it was pretty fucking rad. There are some other songs of theirs that I do enjoy. Like
Yep.
I'm not hating on them, but I'm just like, they're not the greatest band in the world. Get over it.
Yeah. When you said
They're a
that
band.
when you just talk shit about the Deftones, the band that came into my mind was Deftones and Tool
Yeah,
have the
so
craziest fans, and
I
like
know.
they
I'm
think
not
that they're
hating on
shit.
Tool.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're amazing musicians. Like,
Yeah.
but like they're not the greatest band in the world. They're not.
Yeah.
Get
I
over
could
it.
never get into them either.
Get
So
over it.
I feel
They're
you
a
on
band.
both of them. Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
love them. That's okay, and I can not love them, and
Yeah,
that's also
totally.
okay.
Um,
But don't tell me that they're amazing
yeah.
because that's fucking objective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, they're not.
One of the people that I was talking to at the queer show, um, I won't say the name specifically in case. Actually, I don't care if this guy's here, because this guy was a dick to me. Anyway, when I got there, I'm talking. One of the people who I already mentioned to you was there. I was talking to, and he was saying, "Yeah, this guy that does these shows is kind of a dick," and like, he was basically saying like, "I know, have a bunch of friends, or we have mutual friends that won't go to any of his shows because he does pay to play.
Yeah.
He's kind of a douchebag, whatever."
Opens a 90s cover band for the
Yeah, yeah.
Queers.
So like, so I'm hanging out with Hyro and Hoglog at the Queers merch booth, and Hoglog leaves because they were he had to go wake up Joe because Joe just sleeps in his van during the opening bands. So Hoglog's like, I had to go wake up Joe and get him ready for the show. I was like, all right. So I'm hanging out with Hyro at the Merch Queers booth, at the Queers merch booth, the Merch Queers, the
No, merch
merch.
queers
Yeah,
is better.
there was a band called Merch selling a bunch of queers.
Yeah, the
It
merch
was
queers
awesome.
booth.
Yeah. Um.
I'd go to that booth in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Um. And Hyro had to take a piss. So I was like, dude, go. I'll just stay here. It was during that shitty band anyway. Nobody was going to the merch tables. So I was like, go. I'll watch the table for you. He's like, all right. So I'm standing there behind the table, and that dude, the promoter, walks up to me, and he was like, he thought I was in the Queers. So he walks up to me. I had no idea who this guy was when he approached me. He comes up to me. He's like drinking a beer, and he fist pumps me, and I fist bump him, whatever. And at first I thought it was somebody who knew me that I forgot who they were because that happens to me all the fucking time when I go to shows. Um, and he's like, "How you feeling?" And I was like, I feel pretty good." I was like, what the fuck is this?" And he's like, "How's the tour going?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not in the band. I'm in mid sentence." And he just starts walking away from me. He just starts walking away. Like once he found out that I wasn't in the band, he just starts walking away from the table. And I was like, "Fuck this guy!" And then he turned around and he's like, "How do you know the Queers?" Like he was like all like he was really weird and shitty. Like, "How do you know the Queers?" Like, and I was like, "Well, we've played with them. I've hooked up shows. I know Joe. I'm in a band. We recorded with them. I know all these dudes." And he's like, "Oh, I'm the promoter of this show." He's like, "Pretty good, right?" And I was just like, "Oh, you fucking asshole."
Pretty good, right?
Yeah,
No.
it was so bad. It was so bad.
No, you had a 90s cover band open for the
Yeah,
Queers. No.
yeah, yeah,
The answer is no.
yeah. He's like, "Hey man, you should hit me up. We'll work together or something." He was just such a classic
Al-
douche.
Also,
Classic douche.
no.
Also no. Yeah. And then he walked away and I didn't see him again for the rest of the night. But like it was it was really painful to and then Hoglog was like, why isn't your band playing the show? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know about the show until like a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or something. Anyway, so I talked to Joe and Joe's like, dude, why didn't you guys play this show? And again, I'm like, dude, I didn't know about it. Like, whatever. So Joe said that anyway, Joe said to hit him up and he'll come up back up to DC and do a show with us this fall or whatever. So maybe we'll do another OBH thing in the
Boom.
yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I brought this up on the show or not, but I know obviously I told you, but uh longtime friend of mine and who's been a guest on the show twice, stand-up comedian Mark Matusof,
mm,
passed away back in February. I know I
yeah.
told you this, but I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast at
We
all.
haven't. We were going to do an episode about it and then
Yeah,
we were both busy. We couldn't get a date together.
but his celebration of life thing was yesterday for at least
Oh,
for the
was
East
it?
Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, up in Gaithersburg, Maryland,
Okay.
and it was his buddy who he did his podcast with,
Hmm.
Irwin, owns a comedy club there,
Oh, cool.
and that's where it was, and it was kind of treated like a stand-up event. It was real cool.
Cool.
They played like his stand-up on the TVs, like
Oh,
the
nice.
one that he has on YouTube. That's real
Yeah, yeah,
well
yeah.
produced, and then had anybody who wanted to get up on stage on the mic get up there and just say whatever they wanted to
Oh,
about
nice.
Mark. And then they played an excerpt from one of their podcasts. There
Yeah.
was like, free food and drinks and
Nice.
yeah, it was real cool. Yeah, it was very nice. It was pretty sad. There's a lot of, Mark knew a lot of people, had a lot of fans. Uh, it was nice to meet some of the stand-up comics that he's been, friends with for like 40 years and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. He was a good person, man. Did they ever find out what happened?
Uh, so it was some sort of cardiac event. So it was
Really?
either,
Okay.
yeah, it was either something like myocarditis or
Oh, shit.
possibly even an aneurysm in the heart.
Damn, because I was gonna say he wasn't a big dude or anything. He wasn't old.
No, he wasn't. He was in good health. Like we used to talk about stuff all the time about
Yeah,
health and like he was in. He didn't have any looming heart issues.
yeah.
Um, uh, this is one. I think this is. I have to get this on record on the podcast. This is epically funny. So I got to go back and listen to the two episodes that he was on of this to see if he talked about this on the podcast. But um, he always said that because he's Romanian. His parents were both, born in Romania. Mark was born here in New York, I believe. Uh, but he always told people that his original real name, his Romanian name, was Miachaslov.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever did. Do
I
you
don't
remember
think
this
so.
at all?
I don't think so. No.
You might not have told, but yeah, he always said that was Miachaslov, but you know, just Mark was what
Yeah.
he was called because
Right.
Miachaslav isn't exactly
It's a
eloquent.
mouthful. Yeah.
Yeah. So when his brother, who was his brother and the one cousin were the only two family that were here on the East Coast because his whole family lives on the West Coast now. So like
Oh, okay.
his ash, he was cremated and they had like a small family actual funeral out there, and he was
Okay.
put to
Yeah.
rest in a cemetery plot where his parents are going to be put to rest, or
Okay.
I guess his dad's already put to rest,
Yeah.
and the rest of his family all out there. But they did an East Coast thing here because he has all his
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
friends and people that consider him family out here for something for everybody out here to go to, which was this. Uh, but so his brother was there and one cousin, but his brother, when his brother was standing up on the stage talking about him on the mic, he was like, he was like, I learned after through all this that uh, Mark used to tell people that, his real name was Miachaslov. He said, no. He said, Mark's full of shit. His name has always just been Mark. He said, in high school, it was like Aiden or something like that, or whatever it was. But he was like, no, like it, he's a stand-up comic. It's a bit like,
That's
and
so
like
funny.
so many people after because his brother went first,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they start. So many people got up there. So many stand-up comics, and were like, "This is mind-blowing." Like he told everybody that his real name was
That's so
Miachislav.
funny.
Like
Yeah.
this was a bit. Like he never cracked from this bit. He held this bit for 40 years and never told a fucking soul.
That's
Not
awesome.
one person. Everyone thought his real name was Miachislav. It was a fucking bit. Mark was the best.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when he told me he had a business card of Mitch Hedberg's.
Yeah.
He said he met Mitch at a comedy club once, and Mitch gave him a business card, and he always kept it in his wallet. I was like, that's
Yeah.
pretty fucking rad.
Yep. Came up in DC with fucking Dave Chappelle. They
Yeah.
were coming up through the DC comedy scene at the same time. So he used to be friends with Dave Chappelle when Dave, was
Yeah.
just getting, Dave was like 18 or something. Mark was much older, but
Yeah. How old was
um
Mark when he passed? How old
67.
was he really that old? Oh
Yeah.
my God. I would have guessed he
I
was in his
know.
early or mid 50s.
No, I right? Yeah, no,
He
he was
was
67.
67?
I didn't even know that.
Get
I
the
thought
fuck out of here, dude.
I knew he was in his 60s, but I thought he was like 62. Um
Wow.
but
I
yeah,
would have
no,
guessed
I know.
55.
He
I
was
honestly would
fucking
have guessed
67.
55.
Right? He was 67. That's crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. He was at our show that we did, our one live show that we did last year,
hmm
with the Savage Remains t-shirt, always
hmm
repping.
I
Fucking awesome fan of the show.
I
Just a, yeah.
it's just one he's one of the best human beings on the
Yeah.
face of the
Good
planet. Like
dude. Yeah.
he really really was. I mean
Yeah.
like and all that was yesterday is a bunch of people getting up and talking about how fucking good of a person this dude was.
Yeah.
And uh I got up and said my piece there as well privately, but publicly on here, I need to, I think, say that one of the things that I said, which is what I led off with, which was um, one of the things that Mark was so great at. This is a thing him and I used to talk about quite frequently, actually, because he was a clean comedian,
Yeah.
and in 2025, I mean, shit, in 15 years ago or 20 years ago in 2005, you're not going to find a good clean comedian.
No way.
I mean, Mark existed then, but Mark truly was the last great clean comedian.
Yeah.
Um, uh, he really was like the guy was following in the footsteps of like, you know, it's this is crazy. You know, people might think I'm fucking crazy, but like, you know, people like Charlie Chaplin,
Yeah.
like that era of comedian. Mark, he purposefully was a clean comedian
Yeah.
because he could do it and he could make people laugh. I have
Yeah.
seen him so many times and watched his set. And I know some of his jokes just over and over and over, and they make me laugh every time. And I've never, obviously, he even told a story on our podcast about bombing. We named the episode after it,
Hmm.
but you know there were specific
Yeah.
reasons why that happened. I never saw him do anything close to that. Every time I saw him, the place was packed and everybody was just laughing
Yeah.
hysterically. Like like did
Yeah.
I even said last night when I was talking about this exact thing, like, you know, we lost one of the he was so good at clean comedies. Like every
Yeah.
time he tells the stupid joke about the old guy in the fucking old home, he's like, you know, it was his like uncle or something, you know, and he's like walks into the old people's home and all he can smell is bug spray. And he's like he gets to his uncle's room and it's just completely filled with bug spray. And you know, and he's like this is the stupidest joke, but it's so good every time he tells. He like it smells like bug spray, and his uncle's like, "Oh, there's a cricket in here. I can't find him. He's hiding from me." And like Mark will stop me, like, "What?" And then he hears the fucking smoke alarm chirping, and he's like, "It's like uncle, it's the smoke alarm." And his uncle climbs up on the chair and is like, "Shh, that'll get him." He's hiding in yeah, like he's hiding in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest joke, but it was so funny every single time.
Yeah. I mean, I could only name two mainstream comedians who are clean right now. Two. Um, Brian Regan and Nate Bargatze. Those are the only two. The cleaner you are, the more clever you have to be
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
because you take the shock. Because there's a lot of because shock gets laughs, right? And when people are just when people say fucked up shit, it doesn't necessarily have to be funny. It's more of the
Yeah.
shock of what they're saying that gets a laugh. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna go completely clean, you have to be super fucking clever.
Yep.
You have to be.
Yeah. This isn't just
Um,
Mark, you know, and Mark was an amazing musician. He would break out the
yeah,
mandolin
that's
and
right.
he
Yeah,
would play fucking Stairway to Heaven
yeah,
on the fucking mandolin and then he would take the mandolin and use it like an oar in a canoe and he'd call it Stairway to Venice. Like
yeah.
it's, you know. Yeah.
And one of his favorite bands was Gogol Bordello.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
his favorite band.
yeah,
Yeah. That was we always had a great relationship music wise because like I apparently knew his taste because every time I'd hit him up about a band, I'd be like, "Hey, Mark, I found this band. You're gonna love them." And every time I would show him a band, he would get back to me and be like, "You really do know my tastes." He's like,
yeah.
"Every band you show me, I fall in love with." The last one that I showed him that he fell in love with was Doom Scroll, which Doom Scroll is fucking outstanding. I mean that was my I'm pretty sure that was my album of the year for
Yeah.
2023.
A couple
Yeah.
years back. Yeah. That
Yeah.
are they on Fat?
They're on Bottles to the Ground.
Bottle Cigar.
So
Okay.
so Mike's
A subsidiary of
well, the one that Mike's running now,
right.
the one that the co-defendants are on.
Co-defendants
So,
are on. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you know Melvinator,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Fat, you know, he doesn't own Fat Records anymore.
Right. Is that official?
Yeah, he sold his portion of Fat
The
Records to
Hopeless.
Hopeless. Yeah,
Okay. I knew he was going to. I didn't know if it officially happened.
I believe that is official. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll end the podcast with some of Mark Matusof's comedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a good friend, a real good friend. Uh, definitely gonna miss that dude.
Yeah.
Um, after being at his thing yesterday, I realized how fortunate I was to get to spend the amount of time
Yeah.
that I got to spend with him because I got to spend a lot of time with him. I
Yeah.
mean, we worked together for the last 16 years.
Nice.
Um,
Wow.
and yeah,
You were on his
and
podcast too, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I always get it backwards. It's either Stogies and Stories or Stories and Stogies.
Okay.
But they did it live from a cigar hut up in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and it was real
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Um, but all these people who got up and talked, people that were friends with him for 40 years and stuff like that, none of these people for long extended periods of time got to spend the amount of time with him that
Yeah.
I did. I was seeing him, you know, I saw him almost every day for the last 16 years aside
Yeah,
from like
and when you
weekends,
when you
like
work with somebody, you're spending more time with them than almost their spouse or their significant other or
yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're with them,
yeah,
6 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week,
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, I mean, my work schedule is a little
Yeah,
sporadic, more
but
sporadic than that. But I mean,
yeah,
there were time periods of like 2 to 3 years there where it was, where it was like that. Other times it
yeah,
was less frequent, but it was all, I still would always at least see him, you
yeah,
know, 10 days a month, you know?
yeah, totally.
If yeah, it was never less than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool to see him show up to the live show we did. I remember it's just like people like that, when they walk into the room, they just change the room, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny listening to some of the other comics like kind of roast him, but not
Yeah.
so much like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because one of the knocks on Mark is funny is that he couldn't keep plants alive and that he can't cook, and it's so true. And he made these YouTube videos called Cooking with Mark that are fucking hilarious because it's all just
Awesome.
terrible stuff and it
Yeah.
turns out terribly and everything just goes wrong. And they're actually somebody's putting them together right now and gonna make them all available on
Oh,
on
sweet.
YouTube and like yeah, gonna like remaster them and because
Awesome.
he just had them privately. So once you know once those are all up, I'll say something about it and we can put them in the show, link to them in the show description or something sometime. But they're really great. They're
Awesome.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I think he the only comedian we've ever had on? I think so, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you consider like, Paul Prado, because
Right. Yeah.
5 second films. Yeah, actor,
Yeah. But that's
comedian.
that episode's been blacklisted for the moment, but
You could put it back.
I could probably
I,
put it back.
you could put it back.
We should have him back on too.
Yeah, you
Um,
can
yeah.
put that back.
Yeah, I will.
You definitely can put that back. It's been long enough. Yeah, it was um a wrongful termination suit,
Yeah.
and he won the suit. So
Yeah. He didn't do anything wrong. Just
yeah,
yeah.
no, he didn't do anything wrong at all. He was wrongfully terminated.
Right. Yeah.
He won
Yeah.
the suit.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I think he told me he won like $42,000. So like,
Sweet.
yeah. So like, you could put it back on because that was the only
Yeah.
reason he wanted
Yeah.
it taken down. So yeah,
Yeah. We'll have to
just
get
in
him
just
back
in
on
case
soon.
that it wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't
He
have,
didn't
but you got
he
to be
didn't
safe.
want somebody
Yeah.
to find some media of
Right.
him and
Right.
try
Right.
to use something he said somewhere to use against
Totally.
him in that suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't have been able to because he didn't like there's nothing on that episode
Mm.
that yeah.
No, but I understand totally. No, that's good. Yeah, I remember wanting to do something for Mark, and we just couldn't. That was during our like weeks off, and we just couldn't get dates together. So I'm glad you brought that back up because it's definitely worth mentioning because he was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
He was extremely awesome. It's
yeah,
just genuinely good human being. I mean, another one of my longtime coworkers. She, divorced and was forced to move out of the townhouse she was living in because it was being sold and basically was just put onto the street with her and her two sons. And like Mark took them in for an extended period of time, just stuff like that.
yeah,
And I mean, he was literally a genius. The dude was
yeah,
brilliant. Like I say this, I'm not just saying this. Like
yeah,
he was. This is probably. I don't know if this has ever happened in the history of stand-up comedy, before or after. But he was literally a rocket scientist turned stand-up comic.
yeah,
Like his job before he decided to go to stand-up comedy, he was a literal aerospace engineer. He was a rocket scientist.
yeah. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, and somebody told a story last night actually up on stage of one of the times they were playing a show together and he was being heckled by some woman
Mm,
and 'cause Mark said something smart and the
mm.
woman literally said, "Oh, what are you, some kind of rocket scientist?" And and he was like, "Actually, yes." And then he started spouting off all this like aerospace engineer stuff like for like
Awesome.
15 straight minutes and just put this woman in her place and she did not say another word for the
That's
rest of the
awesome.
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Talk about your all-time fucking backfire heckles.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and another thing being a clean comic, like how do you handle hecklers? That's how you handle hecklers when you're a clean comic.
Yeah, that's yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a literal genius.
Yeah.
That's how you handle
Right.
hecklers. Yeah.
Good old Miachaslov.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Mark Matusof. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for being here. My name is Mark Matusof. I'm on the road a lot. This is good to be kind of home. I live, well, actually, in Woodbridge. Thank you. That's the appropriate response. Yes, thank you. Or as we say in Woodbridge, muchas gracias. So thank you guys for being here. So, and what a treat to drive up here from Prince William County the Saturday after Thanksgiving when everybody's in the stores. And wow, what a slice of heaven that was. I had a guy cut me off on the Beltway. He cut me off, gave me the finger. What the hell's that about, man? Because, you know, I'm sorry, if you cut me off, I get the finger right of way. You can only signal your finger. I have to signal first with my finger. And I think we know that's the rules of engagement, right? Finger, finger. Fist, fist, bump, Glock, duck. Right, some of you guys are packing. Okay, we can move on. It's all right. Well, I'm glad I was watching Lucas, and I take as a lot of married folks in the room. Here's what I learned in life. I learned that you will never, ever appreciate how much you love your own family until you get to know the family that you married into. I love looking around the room and seeing one person, a couple about to clap at that joke. Okay, I don't think so. No. Let me put it this way. At my wedding, when her family came down the aisle, the organist started to play. Du-du-du-dun. Du-du-du-dun. Just seeing the ring bearer, just a hand. I'm glad you guys are out, because, you know, when you're married, you don't go out as often as you used to, right? Kids, jobs, life gets in the way. So when you're home, you make up your own forms of entertainment. You play married people games. Like when you're married, you don't play 20 questions. You play the same question 20 times. Or maybe play married people Jeopardy. That's you got to answer every single question in the form of a question. Where were you last night? Where'd you think I was? Is that your final answer? Can I phone a friend? Marriage itself is marriage is a game of chess. It's a chess game. Because if the king makes one stupid move, the queen will take his castle. I take it some of you guys have played this game before, because after that, all the king has is a couple of lonely nights. Alone with his bishop. That's how the game works, folks. Okay, so I played the game a few years ago, became unmarried. Here's what happened in our case. We rushed into the marriage, did not know each other well enough. We found out after we got married, there's a lot of stuff we did not have in common. For example, I enjoy eating hot, spicy food, but she liked to sleep with other guys. Okay, wish that was a joke. It's okay, we can move on. She remarried. Oh, I gotta tell you, she remarried, and her husband, new husband, called me up to borrow money. He wanted to borrow $200 from me so he could take her someplace nice for her birthday. I said, wow, man, you've got some great cell phone coverage to reach me here on Earth all the way from your planet. Dude, you got the Barbie all. Sorry, accessories not included, man. And I'm still friends with my ex. I says, listen, babe, it's none of my business, but what do you see in this guy? He spends money on me. Yeah, no shit. It's affecting my credit. I don't know. Oh, my ex, let me apologize ahead of time for any women here named Karen before I go to this next bit. My ex-wife is named Karen, and she is a Karen, but she doesn't think she's a Karen, so she's horribly offended by this whole Karen thing that's going on, right? So she's actually trying to organize women named Karen to petition Facebook to take down the Karen memes, which ironically is the most Karen thing you could possibly do. it's tough to find somebody in life that you have a lot in common with. You guys have noticed this? If you're in a relationship with somebody, any sort of committed relationship, doesn't seem like everywhere you look, there are single, available, attractive people everywhere. But the second you split up, they're all gone. It's like trying to find a cell phone signal in West Virginia. That's what it's like, folks. I'm not even kidding about that. I did a show last year at Glenville College in West Virginia. I was driving in, had my phone on. It didn't even tell me how many bars there were. All it has is a picture of two hands going. I had a girlfriend one time who loved the way European guys dressed, and she wanted to dress me like a European guy. And I do not understand European fashion for men, because one time as a present, she buys me a leather bag, says I put my change and my driver's license and my keys in it, and it had a strap so I could wear it over my shoulder like the guys do in Europe. I said, well, thank you, but you know what? In America, that's a purse. And I am so not going to wear that in public. And she says, well, why not? Why not? Well, because I have no shoes to match it. It's a purse. What the hell's wrong with you? So get this, because I wouldn't wear this thing, she accused me of being homophobic. I'm not homophobic. What I am afraid of is putting on my new purse and then running into a bunch of guys who are homophobic. I think that makes me homophobophobic, if anything, right? It cuts both ways, too. Guys never buy women clothing as a present, right? Gift cards, cash, ladies, pick out your own clothes, right? That's what I did for my last girlfriend. And for her birthday, I got her a gift card to Lane Bryant. Shut up, I didn't know. Did you hear the women? You think I stabbed a kitten up here when I said that? Look at some of the guys. What's wrong with that? I've seen that store in the mall. I am sorry, ladies. I had no idea that Lane Bryant is the big and tall men's store for women. I didn't know that. The difference? The big and tall store for men says big and tall. Right on the front of the store. Women do not communicate that way. Lane Bryant says fashion and accessories for women, which tells me nothing. Because seriously, if I was going to guess which store by name was for larger sized women, I would have guessed Dress Barn. Or Big Lots. One of the two. I don't know. It could either one. Christmas just around the corner. You know you're getting a bad gift when the person giving you the present says, it's the thought that counts. Right? They'll just say, here's a box of crap with a bone in it. That's what they'll just say, man. My aunt went to Scotland last year, so as a present, she bought me a kilt. A kilt. Where am I going to wear a kilt? Well, I wore it once, but that shouldn't count. It was laundry day. I did. Had all my jeans and stuff in a wash and put the kilt on. You know, that thing was comfortable. In fact, I forgot I had it on. Of course, everybody else in the laundromat noticed. They are staring at me going, wow, that is the ugliest Catholic girl I've ever seen in my life. Look. I have one female friend who 3 or 4 times a year likes to buy me houseplants as a present, houseplants. It's a nice gesture. It's that I cannot take care of plants. They will just perish in my care. And every time this woman, oh, here's a little plant. This will brighten up your bedroom. Thank you, because you know, nothing is cheerier than waking up to brown wilting foliage. That is very festive. Thank you. And she's one of these crazy plant people. You know the type? She says I have to talk to my plants. You have to talk to your plant. Say something to your plant. Yeah. Welcome to death row. You know, she has to walk right past my ugly lawn to give me the plant. That should be a red flag right there. I got the worst looking lawn in my neighborhood. You know how bad my lawn is? The crack house across the street complained that my yard is an eyesore. That's how bad it is. The only thing on my lawn, it's green as a Heineken bottle. I try. I mean, this spring, I tried to make my lawn look good. In fact, I bought so much fertilizer, I got a visit from the FBI. And even then, the agent looked at my yard and says, you know what? I'd buy another couple of bags if I was you. I'm not good with plants. You know, and guys, women are much better than generally taking care of plants than guys are, nurturing, and I shouldn't generalize because I do have one buddy of mine who is very good with plants. I know because he grows them in his basement under a black light. He talks to his plants a lot. Here's the worst bad gift story to show you guys. My parents were married for 50 years, and my dad had a genuine talent for buying my mother the worst presents in the world. But ladies, think about the worst thing your guy ever got you, multiply times 1 billion. Here's what my dad actually bought my mom once for their anniversary. My dad bought my mom a cemetery plot. Oh, yeah, if that's not bad enough, my dad was bragging about it. Hey, I managed to get 2 of them side by side. Like they're playoff tickets. I mean, really, Dad? Come on. The funniest thing to me is my mom turned to me and said, I'll tell you something, one of them's going to get used tomorrow. My dad was such a piece of work. Maybe some of you guys have a dad like mine or had a dad like mine. When I was a kid, I had one of those fathers that no matter where we went as a family, my dad always had a camera hanging around his neck. But he never, ever, ever finished a roll of film in his life. I swear my dad had this one roll of film in the camera since 1963. We finally got it developed. We found the second gunman in the Kennedy assassination. You know, sometimes you can see the generation gap in that joke. Because anybody under 30s look at me going, what the hell is film? I remember when I was 6, I asked my dad to take me to the zoo. Instead, he took me to the horse track. He said, this is even better than the zoo. Because you get to see animals and you learn money management skills. That's great till we got home. Mommy, Daddy took me to the zoo. What was your favorite animal? Number 3 horse and a 5th. My mom retired, moved out to California, lives with my brother and my cousin, and I fly out there like 3 or 4 times. Like next month I'm going out there, actually. But in her mind, it's like I'm driving home from college, which is boxes of stuff to give me they can't possibly take on the plane, right? We're talking stuff like a floor lamp, an upright vacuum cleaner, 5 gallons of soup. Last time she hands me kitchen knives, 7 huge kitchen knives. I said, Mom, I got carry-on. I can't take this on the plane. She says, why not? They frown on weapons, Mom, that's why not. She says, they're not weapons for cutting meat and cheese and bread and fish. Mom, look at me. I'm one mustache away from being sent to Guantanamo Bay. I can't bring him on the plane. She says, well, just tell the man at the airport that you're only going to use him in the kitchen. Well, of course, why wouldn't that work? Hey, Mr. TSA guy, oh, these big honking knives, I can bring them on board. I have a note from my mother. I tease my family a lot. I'll tell you this about my family. I'm the first one in my family who was born in this country. My parents are both immigrants. I know the last few years that's been a hot button topic, immigration. We all get lost in the noise. We forget that this is nation immigrants. We also forget that we tend to incorporate pieces of everybody's culture into ours. And as Americans, we do that by taking other people's holidays and making them a 3-day drinking binge. That's what we do, right? Because we will drink for holidays in this country. We have no idea why we're drinking. Cinco de Mayo. We have no idea, but we're going to stick a lime in a beer, get drunk in a sombrero. Woo, love that holiday, huh? Now, Cinco de Mayo is May 5th. That's a date in history where Mexico defeated France at the Battle of Puebla. Well, what the hell? France lost another battle. Drink up, America. Woo, drink up, yeah. The biggest one, St. Patrick's Day. And we drink on St. Paddy's Day because, hey, 5th century monk chased the snakes out of Ireland. Well, I don't know about you. I think that calls for Jaeger bomb. Woo, no more steaks, folks. Let's drink up. Now, I'm not Irish. So it's been confused why the Irish thought it was a good idea to cook up corned beef and cabbage and serve it to people who are drinking beer all day. Obviously, they were not thinking ahead of the morning of March 18th. Here's my theory. The snakes left Ireland voluntarily. Star Spangled Banner, right? We all know Francis Scott Key wrote it, but he only wrote the words. He did not write the music. He wrote the words to fit a piece of music at the time, which is a drinking song called Anacreon in Heaven. This is true. Look it up. Our national anthem is set to a drinking song. You know what that means? We came this close to having a Star Spangled Banner sung to the tune of 99 bottles of beer in the wall. That's how close it came, folks. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail? Rockets are glam bars bursting in air. Hand me a beer because the flag is still there. Play ball! As a comic, I travel the entire country. I met people of every single nationality. But I have to tell you guys this. If I meet one more person in this country that is 1/16 Cherokee, I don't know why. It's always Cherokee, always 1/16. Had a guy tell me once he was half English, half Irish, and 1/16 Cherokee. Well, you might want to go keto. You're a little bit over there with the carbs, man. Here, let me say this about immigration. I do not want to offend anybody with this. So let me preface this by saying my mother was a war refugee. And my mom, as a refugee, had a difficult time getting into this country. That said, I do think we need a wall or a fence along that border to control it. Otherwise, I hate to put in these terms, but this country is in danger of being overrun by illegal, undocumented Canadians sneaking into this country. Oh, you laugh. They could be right now. We never know. They look just like us. Like a sleeper cell. I don't trust Canadians. Let me tell you why. I don't trust Canadians because every nationality that comes to this country opens restaurants. Who here has ever dined on Canadian cuisine? No one. I rest my case. I can only think of one Canadian restaurant. Chick-fil-A, eh? Have you guys shopped at IKEA? Yeah? Bring that puzzle home, put that thing together? Here's my tip to buying stuff at IKEA. The more difficult the thing is to pronounce, the harder it's going to be to assemble you get it home. Right? You have to buy something that has one syllable. It's spelled U-G-Ook. It's a stick with a hole in it. Perfect. Right out of the box, ready to go. God forbid you buy something that's called a Yorken, Bjorken, Horken, Mjorken, Bjork. You know what that is? That's a scale model Stockholm with pieces missing. And no Allen wrench. See, I think the Lego people should get together with the furniture people to solve that problem. Bring your stuff home, just snap it together. It's a new bookcase. What do you think, huh? Now it's a Klingon battlecruiser. I love nationalities, man. My next door neighbor's from a Spanish-speaking country, and I never knew where he's from. I finally asked him, Danny, what country did you come here from? He said, hey, man, where do you think I'm from? I said, Mexico. He says, man, I'm from El Salvador. Do I look Mexican to you? No. That's absurd. Why would I think that? Did I say Mexico? I meant Norway. That's what I meant to say, man. I mean, I can relate. I get that all the time. Most people think I'm Italian. I'm not. I grew up in a wise guy neighborhood. There's no way I have the speech pattern, the mannerisms, the affectations. I'm actually Romanian. Okay. And 1/16 Cherokee. Does it help you guys that better? Yeah. That's right. My movie is Dances with Werewolves. I realize Romania is a country you never hear about, except every 4 years during the Summer Olympics, right? Gymnastics girls show up, right? Grab all their little medals and run back to Romania every 4 years. And to me, that's the coolest part, when sometimes little countries get to win gold medals. When you're in a small country wins a gold at the Olympics, that's got to screw up the guy who has to play national anthems at the awards ceremony. Right, he's got his box of anthems, he's waiting and hit him with one. The winner, Ecuador. You're shitting me. I didn't even have Ecuador in the box, man. Whew. I'm gonna have to play Santana. I hope nobody notices. Remember when you were kids? Middle age was old. Your parents were middle age, right? Your teachers, the mailman. Now I'm at that age. I got to start thinking about these medical procedures that guys don't want to think about. Although I saw you know what I'm talking about. I saw the ad for Cologuard. I've seen that on TV, right? It's an alternative to a colonoscopy. So instead of doing a procedure, you just send a stool sample off to a lab. Basically, you crap in a box and stick it in the mail. I am skeptical. Because let me tell you, when I was 17, I got a lot of trouble for doing just that. And I don't know what I'm worried about. My family seems to live forever anyway, especially my mom's side. My mom still has an uncle that's alive. He's 97. He's like the oldest in the family, last of that generation. The whole family calls him Gramps. And I visited him not too long ago in his little retirement community. And we walked into his condo. The whole place smelled like bug spray. Apparently, there's been a cricket he's trying to kill for like the last 2 weeks. Smoke detector battery. I said, Gramps, smoke detector batteries. Ah, that's where the son of a bitch is hiding. And Gramps just he got his first cell phone. I don't know why. He got his cell phone. He has the latest iPhone. You want to talk about technology while into the wrong hands? That's it right there. I'm trying to show him how to use it because he never had one. I'm trying to use, the functions we all take for granted, like the address book. I'm showing him how to use that, right? You put all the phone numbers in there, and all you have to do is, no, here's his address book. He writes numbers on a piece of paper and tapes them to the back of the phone. That's his address book. Text messaging, he will call me on the phone to tell me he's going to send me a text message. I think you missed the point, Gramps. Next time, just ship me the phone. How about that? Here was his first text message to me. His first text was this. All right, actually, his first text was a picture of the top of his shoe. Here's his first text. How are you? Stop. I am fine. Stop. Right back soon. Stop. I text back, says, Gramps, stop. It's not a Western Union telegram. Gramps has a great sense of humor because he texted right back to me, dot, dot, dash, dot, dash, dash, dot, dot, dash, dot, dash, dash, dot, dash, dot, little smiley face, dash, dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, dot, dash, OMG, FML. Talking about the bad gifts earlier, 2 years ago when he turned 95, the whole family's buying him presents, and we had a big party for him. One of my relatives actually bought him a medical dictionary. There's a thoughtful gift for a 95-year-old man. 600 pages of health disorders. You know what it is to Gramps? To him, that's like baseball cards. Need it? Got it. Need it? Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Want it. He doesn't understand what we do for a living either. Because what I do up here, they don't have this in the old country, so he can't get his mind wrapped around it. We've had this discussion about 100 times. Let me get this straight. People will pay you money to stand in a dark room late at night and say dirty words for people drinking alcohol. That's my job. Stupid country. This is a cool job, being a comic. Here's a job I'd like to have for one day, just for one day. I want to be the lifeguard for the gene pool. Right? Just give me a whistle and a vest and a power to walk around the agency every day in life going, you, out of the gene pool. And you can start anywhere. Hey, you, towing a boat with a smart car, out of the gene pool. You, camping out 6 weeks just to see a Spider-Man movie, out of the gene pool. You, poking a stick at the pit bull, out of the gene pool, out, out. You, posting a selfie of you committing a felony, out of the gene pool. What's your last name? Kardashian, out of the gene pool. Every last one is out, out, out. You, feeding X-Lax to the pigeons. That's funny, you can stay. You can find the gene pool in fractions every day in life. People reading books while they're driving. You ever see that one like on the Beltway? I saw one worse than that last year on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, being passed by a guy in a big, beautiful Continental. This guy was not reading, much worse, doing the crossword puzzle while he's driving. Not paying attention, smack right into the toll plaza. Now that is irony. Lincoln takes out Booth. As I mentioned, I'm the first one born here. I got stuck with one of these horrible, long ethnic first names that was so bad, I legally changed my first name to Mark when I turned 21. My given first name was Miachaslov. My entire given name, Miachaslov Mark Matusof. I know. Great name for a war criminal. Not too cool for a 7-year-old in an inner-city public school system. Because with a name like Miachaslov, I even got beat up by kids named Cornelius and Stinky. I could not even spell my name in school. It was M-Y. No, M-O and M, I have no idea. Kind of embarrassing. I applied for my first driver's license. First name, Miachaslov. Can you spell that for me, sir? No? No, not really, no. I was reading off the eye chart. Miachaslov. Not a great name there during sex, I'll tell you that. Say my name, say my name, say my name. I can't get off. Hey, close enough. And every kid's game using names. How many kids' games? Always games like Red Rover, Mucus Scab, right over. The worst was that name game song. What's your name? Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, Bobani, Banana, Fana, Fafani, Me, Ma, Momana. Johnny, what's your name? Yeah, just slow. Stinky, go kick his ass. There's actually a couple of people in this country have worse names than me. I think one of the worst is going to be a football player who retired just a few years ago for the Detroit Lions, Harry Colin. Wow. I know. What was parents even thinking on that one? I can't even imagine him filling out the forms in the doctor's office. Name, Harry Colin. Symptoms, see name. If you can see expressions on your faces right now, you say rock and roll, we got like Miachaslov, king of the swamp gypsies up there, man. Dance what gypsy slave boy dance. It's a mandolin. I know you guys expect to hear in this thing. Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like me? I'll take that as a no. When I was a kid, it was rough because all my buddies had the garage bands, the amps, and the speakers, and they invited me over. Dude, bring a little sissy guitars over here, man. And we'll wail on some Zeppelin. Yeah, that was Stairway to Venice is what that was, guys. Stairway to Venice. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. They took the whole Cherokee Nation, except 1/16 who were Caucasian. Living it up in the Motel 6 in Woodbridge. Such a lovely place. No habla inglés. How about some Partridge Family? Ba 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 ba. I'm sleeping and right in the middle of a good dream when all at once I wake up from something that keeps knocking at my brain. Before I go insane, I hold my pillow to my head and jump up in my bed, shouting out the words I dread. I think I love you, but you're only 17. I'm a congressman from Florida. I think I love you. Yeah, shoot the messenger. The only thing worse than hearing a man who didn't play rock music is hearing it sung in Romanian. And I have an example for you guys. Lui, trebuie să plec. Fetița, nostimia, moștiopția, trebuie să prind vaporul ca să trec oceanul. Eu o să nave plez vaporul singar. N-am crezut că o să ajungă casa. Oh, baby, lui. Everybody! Trei zile și trei nopți am nave pat pe mare. Just the girls. And I know he came out tonight thinking, wow, I hope there's someplace in Ashburn we can hear Romanian rock and roll. Who'll let the goats out? This is it, ladies. This is as cool as I'm going to get. I'm sorry. I always want to be one of those musicians women point to 6 blocks away and go, wow, that guy is cool. That never happens to me. His women say to me, they say, you work at Olive Garden, don't you? That's what I get, you know? Because if the mandolin was even halfway cool, Jimi Hendrix would have played it. at you guys. This is the worst karaoke night ever. You hear the mandolin a lot in the movies. The best-known mandolin theme song came out of this film. In fact, they were running it all day on Thanksgiving. Caddyshack. Now, of course, it is The Godfather, also known as the New Jersey National Anthem. That's why New Jersey, where the state fish is a loan shark. A lot of comics do impressions. I only do one. My impression of a guy from New Jersey going hunting. Hey, Bambi, come here. Get in the trunk. Some of you guys are taking this way too seriously. Here's some movie trivia. If you see any of the Godfather movies, 1, 2, or 3, anytime you hear this in a film, someone's going to get whacked. This is the Italian Jaws theme. Hey, Vincent, I want you to meet your cousin, Mary Corleone. Hey, Mary, hear the music. How about this time you start the car? See, I need to take this out of the movies. This would make great early warning sound for everyone in life. You know, honey, I've been thinking your butt does look big in that dress. Hello, this is Spirit Airlines customer service. Can I help you? Hey, Mr. Trump, Kanye's here to visit. Oh, and he brought a friend. Here you go, honey, a gift card to Lane Bryant. All right, I realize that not everyone here is as much into the Godfather movies as I am, but you know everybody loves? Porn. Some more than others. Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Ramon. I'm here to clean your pool. Uh-oh, my husband just came home. But he's going to join us. But he only wants you. Thank you, guys. My name is Mark Matusof. Take care. Thanks for having the rest of the weekend. Enjoy the rest of the show.
How do I do this shit? I can still hear you. So what do I have to press? Close.